got that all taken care of. We do have one other, what number is it?
Number 22.
Number 22. We have some people from Oakwood here, so let's take this up. So I know some of them probably need to get back to work, and so we will see if we can move y'all right along. Item number 22 is to discuss and approve the agreement with the city of Oakwood. And we have our illustrious DA right back here. Would you like to just make any kind of comment about that?
No,
How the
ma'am.
process is with you?
We kind of went back and forth on Class C tickets. You know, in my opinion, I think the agreement that I sent to Charlie Johnson, the attorney for Oakwood Municipality, is, you know, all the tickets would come here to Freestone County. I don't think there's a way in the Code of Criminal Procedure to have even though it's Class C, have that crime occur in Freestone County and then it goes somewhere else. Also, members of Oakwood that are here, I talked to Charlie yesterday, kind of came on late, but we decided to maybe put in depending on what the commissioners want to do, to put in a map, you know, of kind of almost scope of patrol if this were to pass. I talked to Lloyd, I sent it to Charlie. Lloyd's much more familiar with the area, but basically it kind of makes a circle around Oakwood and then up 79 all the way to the Trinity River. So again, that's kind of where I'm at on it, legally speaking.
And that map is not in our, with our.
It is not, no, sir.
Book, but I'll explain to y'all, that would allow the patrol, like he said, to go 79 east out of Oakwood to the river. As far as what would be County Road Patrol in the area, it would go up County Road 310 off 79, until follow County Road 311, pass back into 301, we turn left on 300, cross 301, 300 to the access roads of 333 or 331, which brings them back out at the new high school football field, Oakwood's new one, which is in Freestone County. So it gives a lot of Freestone County taxpayers that additional patrol north of the city limits. And as far as the major highways that we patrol, it should be Highway 79, where it's passed, but it's also Highway 84. So I think
who normally patrols down there now? I mean, who normally patrols those county roads?
Me and.
So you're already patrolling the county roads?
Yes, sir.
per the existing agreement.
Well, I thought with the existing agreements, null and void.
No, the only person that wrote a letter to annul that agreement didn't have authority to do so, Mr. Sheriff.
The city received a letter in January saying that the agreement was canceled. And so that's why it's back with the commissioners seeing how we can resolve the issue.
Yeah, that's a good question. I actually have not thought about where we're at currently with the old agreement, whether that letter truly gets rid of that agreement or not. I think that my understanding, kind of broadly speaking, is that agreement there's a letter sent that was canceling it, so we kind of all went back to the drawing board to get something else put in place.
The old agreement was never formally canceled.
No.
Not by this board.
Maybe what we should do is say amended interlocal. To address that.
We could, yes, ma'am.
Or we can make a motion to cancel the old and then put this new in place.
Either,
Let's do that.
I don't know, either way, it's 6 one way, half a dozen another, I think, legally speaking. So whatever the court wants to do as it deals with the new agreement.
Well, since we have the new one already signed, let's cancel the old one and go to the new one.
I just have a couple other questions. And by all means, I want to help y'all, by all means, but the sheriff supposed to take care of the county down there? Have y'all ever called them? Or
It is
y'all
part
ever?
of Freestone.
Well, I've had multiple citizens come to me out there in that area, come up to the office and so forth, and said they had called the sheriff and nobody's ever responded. multiple citizens.
Was that documented? Did you document that somewhere?
I didn't document it. I've went out and people's called me on personal cell phone to come put cows back up.
Proximity, you know, it's just,
Yes.
we're just right there, and so they
Yes.
assume, and that's why they always come to us, is because there's the city limit, but then, right outside of the city limit, within a half a mile or a mile or two,
I
there are all
understand.
these issues.
Yes.
Do y'all have this agreement with Leon County? Y'all, the city of Oakwood is in Leon County.
The
yes?
city of Oakwood is located in
Okay,
Leon
do y'all
County.
have an agreement with Leon County to patrol those county roads out that way?
You're talking north now, where Miss Warren lives, right
And
out
I'm sure,
there.
I would think there's county roads out there in Leon County. I mean, do y'all have an agreement with them to do that now?
We have, I believe, an interlocal agreement
With Leon
with
County.
Leon County, but they usually, I mean, whenever they, I've responded to some calls out in the
Sure.
county out there.
Sure.
Especially, they're in the city, there's a little part of area in the city that's actually goes from city to county to city to county. And it's a little Academy Hill Road. And there's also another area out there. The sheriff's office will send me the calls out there in the county. Because we're right there, it's right there in the city. So, yes.
And if y'all are concerned, and I'm just trying to help y'all, if y'all are concerned about that, why don't y'all annex that area so it would be inside the city? You would get more taxes, you would be able to patrol the roads that you're concerned about.
Because the charter, the way that Oakwood was set up, in order to annex, we have to get them to agree to be annexed, and they won't.
Well, like I said, I'm all for y'all having law enforcement, and I think they should all work together. But I don't think that we need a city out in the county patrolling on county roads. That's just my feelings, and that's the way I feel. And I've talked to the sheriff here, and I've talked to the DA here, and both of them, you know, we talked about it yesterday and for a couple of days. And the sheriff is not, as I took it, Brian, you correct me if I'm wrong, he is not in favor of doing this. He was elected by your people down in Freestone County to do his job. Now, I can't tell, as an elected official, one elected official can't tell another what to do, but the citizens can tell them.
Exactly.
But I certainly want to help y'all, but I just see, we're setting a precedent to have police officers, city people going out to different areas.
Well, I thought the agreement would just define the area that we would be working, as opposed, it wouldn't be the entire area. It's a very defined area, and it's basically the areas that just bump right up to us
Yes, ma'am.
within.
You know, without that agreement right now, if the Oakwood ISD is having a football game, without this agreement, their city officer can't even go to the football field because it's in Freestone County.
Why can't he?
Because it's out of Oakwood.
It's out of Oakwood City
Any
limits.
law could go to any football game. Our city,
talking
our
about
guy comes
as
up
in
there, and
a-
also deputies come to our football games and work. We have to get an ambulance service out of Mahia to come up there.
And that kind of not, but you said that if we're working outside of our city limits, then
We still would like to have a contract to where, you know, where we, you know, we're in it with the county and the DA's office as well. That way we all can work together, basically. But there, we've, you know, a lot of citizens said we've slowed down a lot of traffic on 321. There's been a lot of marijuana taken off out of the vehicles on 321. A lot of citizens in particular have advised they have ring cameras up. They've always seen our patrol cars pass by their house, and they're very thankful that they see us.
And I'm the one that gets the phone calls from down there from the people. I know that the people that live on the county roads north of Oakwood want this agreement. I've had multiple phone calls. It doesn't mean that our sheriff can't send deputies down there to patrol if he wants to.
Right.
But there's just not that big of a presence. You know, understand it. It's the furthest point from the sheriff's office, you know. not that much presence, this is a pretty good opportunity that I think that the residents north of Oakwood get a better police presence, and it's at no expense to the county.
Y'all do what y'all want to.
Well, Oakwood really ain't further than work.
Huh?
Oakwood not any further than driving to work.
What about the lake?
Yeah, I know.
Richard Chump Creek Lake, there's hundreds of people live up there, and the only law enforcement they got is the sheriff's department. And I represent all of them up there. And I don't stress to y'all, I mean, I'm just trying to do what I think is
No,
best
no.
to keep the county from a lawsuit, because once we get this perimeter, what's going to happen? Are y'all on duty 24 hours a day?
I live in the city of Oakwood, and I actually am on call 24 hours a day. I have another officer, I'm about to hire another officer as well, and I'm actually on call 24 hours a day. There's been many times when I've been called by Freestone County Sheriff's Office to come out and put up a cow at 2 in the morning. And I'll get up, put on my clothes, and go put the cow up at 2 in the morning. On Highway 79, Highway 84, vice versa, both of them I've been out to. I'm in town all the time. I mean, I live in Oakwood, so right there on Manny Street, right by 321, basically. So yeah, I mean, I'm on call 24 hours a day, basically. So I've gotten cow calls. I've gotten suspicion. Somebody pulled up to me on the side of the road when I was sitting by the city hall and said, "Hey, there's a suspicious vehicle on 321. Can you go check it out?" Go out there, check it out. There's a car on its side in the ditch. The guy's trying to pull it out by an excavator. He's out of the car already, and he's intoxicated. He went to jail. So it's just, I mean, located a stolen vehicle on 321 that was parked there on 321 that was abandoned. Located that, and so just.
My other concern is how does dispatch know when to call them and when to call Freestone County if we got this little circle on the map?
Whenever,
I don't know. No. You might be able to answer that question better. I don't know. And I don't know
I
how.
don't think
But
it's
usually I don't
anything
know.
dispatch is doing right now. This just allows them to patrol.
Whenever I go off duty, or I check on duty, when we had the agreement, I'd go 41 on both Leon County Channel and Freestone County Channel. And when I go 42, if I have an officer on, which I do Tuesday through Friday, they stay on until 2 a.m. When they go off duty, they always say 590 is going to be on call with Freestone County, and 590 is my attached number, and Leon County. So they always put me on call. So unless I, of course, have the flu like last week or the week before, I couldn't go.
I just want to, but y'all do have an interlocal agreement with Leon County so that y'all can patrol out on their county roads.
Yes.
Okay, I'll check on that and see. Thank y'all. I'm done.
Thank you.
Brian, yesterday when the sheriff brought you a map which changed the old jurisdiction and narrowed it down, did he seem to be okay with the agreement based on that new jurisdiction?
I do not think the sheriff, like I said, I do not think the sheriff wants to enter into this. I'll say that straight up. Camera's going, just make sure that everybody knows. That's what he told me. It kind of reminds me, this is a dumb analogy, but it's the only one I can make, is when we ask the judge in district court not to lower a bond, right? We say, hey, don't lower the bond. But if you were gonna lower it, we need these conditions on it. I think that's the argument.
Okay.
I do think the map is a non-starter. The map needs to be put in if this commissioner's court were to vote to enter into this. So I do think the map and the scope of patrol, and again, I think it goes to what they're saying. And me and you looked at the map as well. To be clear, I don't believe the sheriff wants to enter into this, but again, with that condition, it's helpful, I guess, to kind of know what we're dealing with.
I'm not going to turn my back on those people that live down there, so I'll make a motion that we enter into this
Yeah,
agreement
one more question.
contingent on the map.
Any liability to Freestone County?
I mean, I think that any officer that's operating in Freestone County, whether it's ours or somebody else's, yes, I think that goes along with a lot of liability that the county takes on with personnel being in Freestone County. So, generally speaking, yes, you know, as somebody operating in Freestone County, that there could always be a potential lawsuit or different things like that. It's no different than any other officer that we have working here right now with any of our other agencies as well, just to kind of put that in perspective.
City, county, city officers, county sheriff, deputy.
It's kind of it's interesting, and this is the problem, and why nobody likes attorneys, is that everybody's going to get sued, right? If something bad happens, the city of Oakwood's probably going to get sued. Freestone County, who knows? They may name me and sheriff ourselves. I mean, if something bad happens with a lawsuit, or what somebody thinks might be a lawsuit, then I would assume that everybody's getting named. Now, what level of liability percentage-wise based on us versus Oakwood municipality versus that officer specifically, who knows? That would be a case-by-case basis. And I'm sorry, that's a very vague way to answer it, but I just think any type of agreement like this, when Freestone County starts being involved, if something goes wrong, then yes, I would expect us to be named in a lawsuit.
If there was a lawsuit in Oakwood and we weren't in this agreement, would it come to Freestone County?
Depends on
Since
where.
it's not a Freestone County employee?
Again, I think that's a good question. I think that an incident that happens in Oakwood in Leon County in the municipality of Oakwood, no, I don't think we have anything to do with that. I think, again, anything that were to occur in Freestone County, that potentially yes. It's hard for me because it just depends on the mind of that plaintiff's attorney. And again, a lot of plaintiff's attorneys, just generally speaking, we've seen that before, where they will circle the wagons with everybody involved. So obviously the contract would make it more of a direct link to jump into that, but not saying it couldn't happen otherwise.
Any other comments?
Was it noted that I made a motion to accept to enter into the interlocal agreement?
Would you first want to, secondly, since we still have one that technically is in place?
Yeah, I didn't think about. I keep picturing that was
The MO, what's in place is an MOU, and what we're looking at is a interlocal agreement. Those are two different documents.
Okay.
They're based off.
You have made a motion to enter into that agreement. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, aye. Opposed? I'm not gonna break the tie at this point because I wanna look into a couple more things. And so I wanna table this and we'll bring it back next time. Let's look a little more into the,
Sorry, I'm cutting.
No.
Go ahead. That's my short-sightedness. I kind of, in my brain, I was picturing that first one being gone and us starting back over. I definitely see what you're saying. So if that change, look into that a little bit more, and then,
And maybe the liability issue.
yes, ma'am.
And it's a little more discussion on this. The problem with the existing MOU is the venue of the citations.
Thank you, that need kind
That's
of.
what got this whole deal started.
Yes, sir.
But everything was fine, nobody was saying nothing until somebody, the wrong person got a ticket.
And then we started looking, yes, to be very clear, I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm kind of skipping forward to where we are now, is that, yes, we started looking at the venue issue, talking with Oakwood, talking to Charlie, talking to Officer Chief Kate, and my conclusion after looking into all that was that, yeah, hey, something needs to change, because those tickets can't go to Oakwood Municipal Court for an offense that happens in Freestone County. Yes, sir. And that's where all this did. We started looking back at this and coming up with a new agreement to solve that problem specifically.
Yes.
And then now we're
Well, just to make it clear, as it stands right now, they have the authority to patrol in Freestone County based on that MOU. It's just that they know they can't write a citation right now because of the venue. But the MOU itself is still in place and still active. In your opinion, is that correct?
That's a.
It was approved by the court, and so.
That's a really good question, and I know a letter was sent canceling that. I don't know where I stand on that. I definitely see your argument, and
I don't think the letter was any good.
I see your argument. I have not looked into.
Well, let's do some research on that also, and see how we need to proceed.
If I had to shoot from the hip right now, yes, I think what you're saying is correct.
Thank you.
Yes. So sorry to be wishy-washy, I just haven't looked into what that letter means versus anything else, but yeah, I would agree with you right now as I stand here.
All right. Here we go. Thank you, sorry to put you on the
Thank you.
spot. Let's go back to item number 3, the bill. Well, I guess it's. Yes. Oh, wait, what's this? Yes. services, the extension agent, the auditor's office on employee driver's license renewal. And there were no exceptions on all of the drivers. District clerk, January, county clerk, JP 1 and JP 3. The auditor's report for January. Anyone else have a report? If not, we have a motion to accept the reports.
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed, none, motion carried. Item number 6, burn ban.
We got 2 firemen back on the back, what do y'all think?
We're good.
Burn man, let it go, let it roll.
Yeah, no action.
Item number 7, special road use agreements. We have a special road use agreement for Mitsui Energy for Freestone County 340.
That, the wrong one got put on there, Judge. This is about, Andy and I met with Comstock Oil and Gas. Jared Bodie is here representing Comstock. Apparently, when we initially made some changes to the road use agreement, there's a couple of things in there that we probably overlooked. We had taken that from a solar road use agreement deal. And since then, so the Mitsui road use agreement that we have right here is actually newer, if I'm not mistaken, than what we have on file with Comstock. So after meeting with 3 representatives from Comstock the other day, what they're proposing is a larger bond, $1 million, to just be a blanket bond to cover all 4 precincts. And as of this time, only 2 precincts are being affected. But the language in the bond that we have with them right now, is it a 90-day renewal?
It's a 90-day renewal, and then like we didn't make notification of what county road we were gonna be on, and or we're fracking, and we don't make notification that trucks are gonna be on 381, and you find one over there that's $1,000.
Right. That's in the paragraph.
That's over there.
But what, I think what we would like to, what they're requesting is that we could scratch a couple of paragraphs on here. Again, this, the new one, which is, this is what's on our website right now, which was printed off the website this morning. I didn't see the 90-day, what's that, it's on the top line.
Automatically issue another permit under the same bond for 90 days. Then it would automatically issue.
We don't even need that in there. Do we?
And once we get it, don't we want to hold it until we don't need it anymore?
Well, that's what that's doing. It will automatically issue another, says issue another permit. And it's stated that way because it says in the statute that it cannot be for more than 90 days. And so if it automatically issues another permit at the end of 90 days, it just keeps going.
So the
until
bond
they-
is good, does the permit
Yes.
number change? Okay.
Okay.
Are y'all good with that?
I think that we would be fine with it. So does that mean that we have to come in every 90 days?
No,
to-
that's why it's
it means it's
automatic.
automatic.
It's automatic.
Automatic.
I think we can live with
Is that
that.
the state statute?
I think so, yeah.
It's a state statute, okay.
Okay.
And then the other part would be second page 2C. Again, this is from a solar deal that, Will and I talked about this too. They're pretty understandable that they can't control every truck that's running up and down the road.
Sure.
when a lot of them are subcontractors.
Do you want to take that whole thing out, or do you want to just change some part of it?
We'll have to double check that it doesn't affect B or D if we were to remove the whole thing. Leave it stay. Remove C.
Remove C. That's the second page. Second page?
Yes, ma'am, second page, it'd be 2C.
All C.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that agreeable to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Do that.
You okay with the next page, where they are responsible for, damage to roads? I get $1,000, but
Yeah, because 2C goes on to the third page.
yeah.
We just want to take out this part that.
Might just be one, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Just take out through that whole
County, ISS.
fine, take out the fine language, and starting to leave the part for applicants shall be liable for damage. Still,
Yeah.
it's contractors
Going back there.
cause the undesignated. That makes sense. Or damage it is contractors or suppliers cause to be undesignated road. I'm gonna leave that one.
Yeah, that was the main thing else.
So on page 3, the top line would be scratched to the end of that sentence.
I started
And the
with where it
next
said
sentence, any
applicant
fine
shall be
that does
liable.
not
Yes.
apply, take that
Where I
that
start.
sentence out too. Starting with applicant shall be liable
There you go.
for damage it.
That
It's-
stays.
Leave that. Okay? All right.
And we'll do that in a while. Jerry was here today. If we get this amended, we'll, okay, we'll do it all day.
Is that a motion to amend?
I'll make that motion.
I say,
All fair? Aye. Motion carried.
We get
you
it
need
out.
to dismiss everyone? I mean, is that?
No, I think that's put in a vote state.
Because that's one of your rules.
Right.
I already done that.
Yeah. Oh, actually, this is a new, this is on here, in here to be approved.
This one here?
Yes, they sent this one since the last one.
Well, we just took it all out.
This one is for County Road 340, which Comstock already has a road use agreement on. This one they're gonna drill on Lipsy.
Yeah, we're gonna take C out
West
of
side,
here.
340.
We're gonna take C out of here.
They didn't have a problem with it.
That's what I said. Ain't got the votes.
It's that $1,000.
already got it.
We got the
That's
same
third,
thing.
that's about third.
This will be the third.
Okay.
Be the fourth.
Fourth one, yeah, I think we'd have to go back.
Yeah.
I'll be ready in a minute. All right.
On that same, agenda item, this permit number 2455, which was submitted by Mitsui for County Road 340, this is the, so, it's just, it's a road that the Comstock's already has an agreement on also, but this is part of it as well. So I do make a motion that we, accept this road use agreement, permit number 2455, County Road 340.
And they're doing individual logs on each one, correct? This one, Mitsui is.
Yes. Yes. They haven't asked for anything, the Comstock's the only thing that's on this one, that's it.
And you want that one on the new road use agreement?
Well, that's what we were just talking about. Should we accept this one? Or should we?
They've got three more that we work with separate.
There it is.
Just like that.
They're not asking for any changes, so.
Okay,
they do the
all
same.
right.
Second.
You need to include a bond amount on it.
I wasn't going to because they're so high on the others. It is a very short amount of road.
Oh, okay.
Like I
It's just
told
right there.
him, the main thing is the language in here says if you tear it up, you gotta fix it. That's what I'm more worried about, so.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, all in favor, aye? Any opposed, none, motion carried. Okay. Number 8, approve bonds and education certificates. I have a criminal justice informational services, security and privacy training, Tammy Carruthers. I have a bond in sessions, and also a tax assessor and collector bond for Dan Ralston. I have a motion to accept these, or approve these.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. We'll go down to item number 15, notice of election for the May 3rd city and school election. Elections.
I think I can skip you. Found out this morning that Tig City and ISD will not be having an election. So, got on the phone real quick, right? And, I called, Kelly Craig. He's okay with us having an early voting at the fire department, fire station over there in Wortham. So we're gonna have early voting in Wortham at the fire department, and of course, E-Day will be at the administration office. Since we're not gonna have TIG involved at all, we're just gonna have EV in Wortham and Fairfield, St. Elmo, Butler, and Fairfield will all be involved in election day. So, they chose to do that Monday, I think, at their meeting. So right now, we've got Fairfield City, Fairfield ISD, Wortham City, and Wortham ISD only having elections.
And the election for Wortham ISD and Wortham City will be where?
Early voting, we're gonna hold at in Wortham at the fire department, and it'll be April the 21st, which is a Tuesday, through that Friday, the 25th, and then Monday and Tuesday of the next week only. And then May 3rd will be Saturday at the school administration office. So that'll be election day. And so we're only gonna, on election day, we'll hold it on, here at the Green Barn, the administration building in Wortham, St. Elmo, Butler. They chose to have it at Butler also this year. So
St.
there's-
Elmo.
In St. Elmo. Mhm. Yeah, that's where they chose.
FISD, it's only on the bond then? No.
Just
no
bond,
proceeds.
yeah, bond, and, that's it. They've got, place 3, for city, place 5, and place 4,
of the city, and then we've got mayor running in Wortham, city council, 3 places there, 3 spots, and then place 2, 3, and 4 at ISD Wortham. So that's it.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna have 6 entities altogether, but everybody ended up, nobody was running against anybody, so that's gonna be a small, pretty small, easy election, seem like. But the bond is the biggest, I think, for Fairfield right now.
Right.
So that's the notice.
We're gonna, so in Wortham, they're gonna have early voting and voting on.
Yes, yes, I think it will benefit in that area, seeing as how TIG is not gonna be involved. We needed a second, I feel like we needed a second place for early voting.
So where are the people in, it's only school districts and city. So we're outside, why would they need to vote T? I mean, there's not.
They don't, that's why TIG's not having it.
Okay, so Wortham is just, I mean, I just think that's a lot. I mean, that's not my doing, but that's a lot of time to have an election in Wortham. Who made that decision? I mean, is that the school board or is that somebody?
No, it was everybody's all,
Who is everybody? I mean, I'm asking.
myself, the city,
City mayor, city government, city.
Casey Rye, myself, and we just figured since it was the city and the school board running, that they needed a place to vote, especially for early voting, because you're gonna have, people coming in from some Limestone, some Navarro, and then you're gonna have Kirby wanting to vote and stuff, so we figured,
That's good. Thank y'all for doing it.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be, we won't have but about probably 3 people in the early voting working. It won't be an overabundant supply of people, because early voting is very slow for city schools and these elections. It's very slow. So we'll have the very minimal amount of people working on that. Okay, so that's this election. Now, ES&S, the election system and software that we work with for our equipment, we had a little kerfuffle during the November election, of course, with our poll book. I don't know if y'all remember that, with the zoning poll book that we had. When we got it back here, we couldn't download the voters, we had 65 voters I could not download that said they voted. Well, I thought it was just my poll book, but there was some poll books up in the Dallas area that there's something was wrong with their little accept button. The judges kept hitting the accept button over and over and over again, and their poll books went haywire up there. So now ES&S had to go back, and they're having to get our poll books recertified. So as of right now, our poll books are not certified through SOS at all. None of the poll books with ES&S. So they're having to go back. They promised us by, I think, March the 3rd that they're going to be certified again. So with that being said, there's a possibility I may have to go and use our paper forms, which is fine with me. It's not going to bother me. This election, yeah, it's not going to bother me yet to do that if I have to. Not a big deal. But also, with that Donnie poll book that I couldn't get the names off of in the primary, we ended up, I did get my names off. I had to send it off back to ES&S. They extracted the names off. I got my 65 voters off of there, got them to ES&S saying those people did vote. My numbers did come out correct. Everything was great, thank you. But that poll book's been destroyed now because of the fact that they had to take the motherboard out. And I'm not that great on computer stuff, but anyway, it's destroyed. So now we're down to 14 poll books. Well, we've got 13 poll locations. So God forbid anything happened to poll books, one poll book, I am down to nothing to send out to no one. So I called ES&S, and I know last year y'all had approved me to get some extra little portable polling like, I did not have time to get them. So I went ahead and he put these on there too, as far as the extras of the tabulation hardware on there. But also I said, how about 5 extra poll books just to have in safekeeping? So that's at the bottom of this is the 5 extra poll books with the cases and the printers. And the top part was the hardware for those carrying cases also for the S200s. Because I never had that opportunity because it was during the primary. I didn't have time to look during the primary. So I got him to add those on at the top, which is 36,675 here.
When did we get our machines?
Right when I started.
Like how long? 3 years?
For when you were,
22,
yeah, 21,
I thought it was 21.
21. So whenever you came in was my first election, I think. July of 21.
That's close enough, so we've had them about 4 years.
Yeah, so was that year I started is when they
What's
started.
the general life on those? Well, we use our other ones for years.
Yeah, I think they're still sending them out and still certifying them and stuff, so people are still ordering them.
Just wondering. Because if they have to change
Yeah, I don't know.
those, then we probably have to get a new one.
I know. And these are the same poll books, the cases and the printers that we use to print on the thermals that we use for ballots and stuff. But that's the prices of those, just in case. Because I don't want to have it to where I'm standing there and something goes wrong with one of my poll books and we're down to nothing that I can send out to a different polling location. So there's my quotes for those from Chris at ES&S. But everything else as far as this election is taken care of up till right now, that's just the 2 EVs, Worth and Fairfield, and then Gibson.
All right, the express vote printers, are we already using those?
Yeah, that's what I use to, when I go into the public, that little printer, print your little ballots out.
And on election day, you said Southern Oaks, or St. Elmo and
Butler and Fairfield.
Fairfield would be the 3 for Fairfield ISD.
Yes, in the bottom, yeah. Because Clyde really he wanted it, and so did several people up there saying, no, I want it. And I expressed it to the HR lady, Mamie Judd, at Fairfield High School, who helps with the election. She gives me information. And then they had their board meeting, and so.
I think last election was 494 people voted at the lake, and there was 500, it was like 25 votes more. And there wasn't
Good place to have
that
that.
much. It's good.
That's the update on what's going on in the elections
Okay,
department.
and you need to get these ordered now.
Yes, I would like to within the week or so that we can know
And we have no money in that, do we?
No.
Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct.
We need,
I am broke.
Bigger.
all's already gone, believe me. So what we need, if we're gonna get them ordered that quickly, is we need probably can we add on a budget amendment for today? All right, and take that out of contingency? Because if you need something immediately, you need to plan a little ahead.
Yeah, and
So you can get that.
I just,
That's right, so do we have, let's go back first to budget amendments, and have a motion to transfer 17,000 from contingency to whatever line item that
To
is.
their expenses, election, maybe you've got equipment, the furniture, equipment line item, we'll put it in there.
okay, yes.
580.
You make that motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and then, we don't need to go out for other quotes because this is a sole source. So, once the money's in there, we can proceed with that.
Thank you.
Do you have a copy of this?
He just gave me one.
Perfect, okay. All right, one moment. Thank you, Karen.
Should we do that first sentence?
Well, during the construction period, so that's more solar. So
No,
just
I
say,
say, well, we're looking at fracking.
well, how about this? Oh, county roads other than the designated roads on the agreement, they can use streamers or easements.
I mean, that needs to be in there. When we cut out the $1,000 line for it.
Just period, not the project during the construction period. If it's not on here, then it's, and using it. See what I'm saying? Not the. Okay, put that back on it. And then the rest of it's right.
Get you fixed up in a little bit, Jerry.
Oh, you're fine. Just keep me busy today. I ain't gonna be out until what?
I figured Andy'd come up here about 7:15 this morning and have a heat turned way up.
What's the heater on, Dr. James? What's the heater on?
70.
I think it's 6 right here, but
It hadn't cut off.
Be about 45 under this desk.
Draft, there's a draft.
You come over where you're at.
yeah, I got enough. Look on there, I'll never cover it.
Tammany's here with tinfoil upon her.
I'm lucky. Yeah,
I do have a couple of over here, but it's small. You didn't come in?
So drafty, courthouse. Put some tinfoil up on there.
We've done, you had
Huh?
13 acres. We ain't got a job.
Right.
It cost them those blinds down. I know back in the day when I was poor, I put tinfoil up to keep the sun blankets, whatever you needed. Lord, the electricity goes high enough as it is now.
So that we call her because he's always complaining.
Worried about it. That's the second time I've seen that, too. Second time I've seen that.
Right there.
You know this.
Yeah. That's healthy every once in a while.
23 acres is not gonna cover that. So,
Right, right. So it is.
Yeah.
Then it's really nice to come back.
Still,
You know what they did on her back?
almost went to work, it's all around here.
Yeah, that's what I did. See, I can just sit and my legs are really smooth. She said, I can stand up and sleep.
you know what I'm saying? And it's.
I was at therapy yesterday, and I was doing therapy, and my leg was slipping. She was like, I don't think that's supposed to happen. I was like, really? Well, you know, I can't help it. I'm wired wrong.
So we would want her.
Need some red chips or something to grow up along the fence roads.
I mean, it's a good, piece of, we couldn't see it actually once we went to the first time. But, yeah.
Is Kelly running for re-election as mayor?
Look at that.
I think there's some other thing like that. I think there's some other thing going into it.
There you go.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, that's what I mean, you know, we automatically.
So the bond doesn't have to renew, your bond
No, no,
stays the
it's
same.
on the, it says on the same bond.
But you're gonna wait to get us a new bond, and I'll change that. I'll let you just plug in that million on there, and then when we get the bond, we'll follow it all on time. Okay. All right?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Oh, yeah. Certainly will.
On number 18, the appointment of the Heart of Texas Housing Finance Board of Directors. We've done this once, well, several times before, but there is a board that, for the Heart of Texas Housing. And they are, everybody has to agree on the appointment to someone on the board. Well, there is a person that, McLennan County Judge is asking to be appointed to the board, and that is
Kim Stevens.
Kim Stevens, yes.
Who is it?
Kim Stevens. And Judge Felton is asking that that person be appointed to that board.
I'll make him do it. Yeah.
I don't know them, I know nothing about any of it, but if he's recommending, then I'm sure it's the person. You know him.
Mr. Stevens
Unless one of you would like to be on that board, would, I would be glad to submit their
Second,
name.
Will's motion.
Second it, all right, all in favor, aye.
Kim.
Did you get that? We have a motion and a second, thank you. All right. Number 19, we are talking again about the Texas Department of Agriculture, and they are trying to close out the 2024 program. And that's money that they are, not much, that they are dispersing, and for us, it will be $1,278.
Make a motion, we accept.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Number 20, the County Child Welfare Services non-financial agreement. We do have a Child Welfare Services board, and this is the agreement on how that is handled. The board responsibilities, they assist the Family and Protective Services they maintain a child welfare board to administer a county-wide, jointly financed, state-administered, and regionally operated child welfare program to meet the needs of children in the county who are in need of protective services. This board oversees that. They seek Medicare coverage and extend the funds for the children. See them now. You have a copy of it.
current agreement, just like this in place, that reaching its 7-year maturity, is that right?
I'm not sure if it was 7 years, but it's, but this one will be for 7 years, October 1st, 25 to September the 30th, 32.
Make a motion to.
We do have the board and we approve the applications. There's a motion, is there a second? All in favor, aye. Motion carries. Number 21. Did we actually approve the changes to the road use agreements? Maybe we did. Actually, we were just talking about, I guess, that one that we changed.
Yes, we did.
We did.
Change it. Yeah, we did.
So number 21, we approved earlier. We'll
Yeah.
find it, yes.
On number 7.
We approved it under number 7.
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll put the discussion of that under 21. Number 23, to discuss the process of purchasing fire trucks. Number 23.
So after our last discussion, we talked about going ahead and get the quote from the company on the trucks. And that's why Brian and Mr. Sutton are here for today. This is from Safe Industries. They are on the buy board. The 3 tankers come in, and I'm just going to average it, and I'll pass this around, but $430,000. We run those numbers last time on $500,000 per truck. Talked about doing a $2 million deal. But these are base model trucks, and I'm sure Brian can speak more as far as the options, because I think the quote on y'all's, the truck that y'all were looking at, 480, was how much? 480. 480.
I moved here.
Yeah, you moved.
Yeah.
Not over
Can I look
there.
at that?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's that base price, and then there's 3 different option pages of $42,000 and $43,000 apiece. And then on Wortham, was talking about the rescue truck. It's on a separate quote.
Just see if you can turn the heater up a little bit.
Cut off.
About 80 would be fine. Oh, wait, no. It's not doing that. I'm sorry.
Kind of hold it.
Just look at this. So
Hold it down.
probably get Brian to look at this one too.
There we go.
Doing all you do.
Cut off. Had to cut off all of
Whatever that is.
Come on out.
See you later, girl. You too, take care.
Just one place.
And we can call it anytime we want to, if we want to speak on it, answer questions on there. Yes.
Mounts in these fire masters are pretty close. As far as
Price too. Probably 450 to 500 range. Which is where we're at here.
I got quote from them one time, I got some stuff, I got a brochure, a picture of one somewhere.
Yeah, they probably. They're close. I mean, I think they're built a little different bed wise and stuff. I don't know. Hey, I was told. That's working Christmas. Right. I ain't got any other stuff. Everything on this looks good, but there's some stuff that we don't want on that list.
And I agree with what you're saying.
But as far as the overall cost. Yeah, like I said, he told me 480. We call it.
Freestone shares. That's what I'm saying, I didn't have it in front of me.
There you go.
And if he signs it, and it's with the sheriff's office,
So we're done with this.
I mean, I did not, that's why
You're
we,
exactly right.
I did not know that. I was just trying to say that, I do not have it. I wasn't tasked with looking at that, that's why I was trying to be wishy-washy. I had no idea, it hasn't been a problem up to now. Now, is that the first one, or is that? Well, because we can't amend it at some point in time,
Theirs is just probably the most outdated as far as
because we
what
was
do. With all these new
definitely
things,
came back.
2,000 gallons, 1,250
Okay.
gallons. So theirs is 1,500.
And this is not the one that I saw.
Fire tanker, their engine, used tanker, and then Workman said they were good with that tanker. All those between 15 and 20, so 21, 60 years. Yeah. Brother Carl was supposed to be here, because I didn't even see it. I was there. They get mad at church. Oh, yeah. They got their truck right out. I don't know that. They're about the same age. All of them are green trucks.
It gives him still all show.
We can't get it. But yeah, I don't see anything. That would need to be added to those 10,000. On these.
Well, I think you're not working out at the gym. Yeah, I can. I would have done it this year, but,
Fairfield got it, had the different stuff.
I know that, but I thought you would have got Fairfield or something.
formally, you retired here and shit. Nice. Yes, they turned theirs in, so I will pick up the file, make them file it. In fact, I'll go do it right now. He goes, I read it.
That 149 was
Now
okay, so the options comes back to, oh, there it is, 151.
Yeah.
The whole south end of that.
So basically, it's the 432 plus you talk about the options, which go up to 40-something thousand.
I didn't wear my hearing aid.
The way they want to do it, they want to build it around, they were talking to Jim Neal.
All right, and see what you
Just a description.
Rescue truck.
Yeah, my dad, he wears them and like that, he has to turn them down in certain situations and stuff.
60 car.
That's just a G.
So that's 414 is the, that's right, I see that.
It makes it better.
That's what I'm seeing already.
When I go to a restaurant,
And they don't realize you know, that is, that.
Right.
Because it all looks the same.
This kind of, yeah, this is so respected.
they,
You don't realize we don't.
wrong
You know,
with
he's.
guys. Background,
Oh, it's feeling better in here.
then they're telling you things while they're.
And I can do it, you know.
I wasn't ready.
Hey, Brian, so on them pages right there, that back page had 149 on it.
Yeah.
So
Wrong, Brian.
that's what he was considered, the one that y'all talked about was WT 149.
Yeah.
So it's 432, and then this is where y'all deleted some options, and then y'all added some.
Right.
And so that has to be added back to it.
Okay. Yeah, there's things we don't need that others may need.
But it's about that 480, like what you said.
Right. Yeah, because I was wondering why that was different.
Yeah.
Because they don't usually go down, you know?
Yes.
It's a rescue truck.
Yeah, it's a 4-door, 75-50 rescue. Right now, they got a 2-door. What's the rescue? That's right, that's the two guys back there.
Why somebody need a 4-door rescue truck?
Well, you need more than 2 people on an accident scene usually, especially at
But are
extrication.
some other trucks gonna go besides just this one?
If you have people, I mean, I'm not speaking for Worth,
I'm
I'm
just
out.
asking. I don't know anything about
Yeah,
it.
we have a 4-door and we usually fill it up.
Y'all
Plus,
have 4?
have an engine, oh yeah.
What's this 4-door?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, they use that sucker all the time.
Yeah, I mean, if it's an extrication, usually 2 people, it's hard to work it with just 2 people. So the 4-door is nice to have.
And that truck carries all the equipment to do that?
Everything for wrecks, yeah. Like I said,
The
I
other
don't,
thing that was told to me by working was that their tools that they do have, their battery operated tools are old to the point where they're not as strong as the newer tools are. You know, like those electrical hydraulic tools and stuff like that. Theirs are pretty outdated, is what I understand. So that includes the separate tools, that truck will quit.
Who's the person been talking to you about smart truck report? Who was it talking to you about? Kelly Butler?
yeah, I want to make it clear, I'm not speaking for anybody else. I'm here for TIG, so if y'all have any questions for TIG, I can answer them.
And as far as streetman, y'all's tanker is how old and how big?
Can I speak on that for just a second?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to take too much time.
No, go
But
ahead.
one thing I realized about all of this, every bit of this, I call it fire apparatus, engines, trucks, etc. I know they're all expensive. And I know that in addition to them being expensive, they wear out and you have issues with them long term. So our engine we have in Streetman is a 2002 model, and it was paid for with a grant. I have personally applied for a grant to try to get a new engine in Streetman. And the engine is your primary firefighting equipment at structure fire. So, and I'm like him. I'm not here to speak for anyone else, but the idea of having a apparatus replacement, some sort of a system in place, in my view, is a good idea. Now, where they go, and he asked me about this a while back, and I told him this. I said, if it's deemed that Streetman doesn't get the next one, I'm still in favor of a program to replace aging apparatus. And the reason, here's why, and I've been in this business since 1986. When you're inside a burning structure, your hose line, in many ways, is your lifeline. And so right now, I have a 23-year-old, and then if you add reflex time to that, let's say you go along with this and Streetman gets a new fire engine. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, just hypothetically. And it's a year or two. I'm going to be fighting fire with a 25-year-old piece of equipment. And again, that hose line is my lifeline out of there. So I'm relying on that for my safety when I'm engaged in interior firefighting. And you have a good many people in this county that they're paid guys or they're volunteer guys that are trained to the extent that they actually engage in interior firefighting. My point in saying all that is this: you need reliable equipment. And whatever, if there's a system that can be implemented that y'all can do to where those aging fire apparatus can get replaced in some sort of a systematic way, in my view, that is a good system to have in place. So, again, I'm speaking for one department here on this, and that is we have a almost 25-year-old piece of equipment that is our primary firefighting apparatus that I rely on and have relied on when we make interior attacks on structure fires. So I think that the consideration for this is a very, very good idea as far as keeping those types of equipment, those expensive types of equipment. So that's my contribution to this.
2-year bill. Yeah, that's what got this whole thing started was how do we get line position? Because I think we kicked it around last year during budget talks about maybe it'd be good just to try to do one truck a year. But if we do that, the wait time for these trucks getting outfitted, this gets us a line position, plus with the mandates coming down on emissions. So it gets us in front of, it's 4 trucks that we can get involved before an additional $60,000 worth of emissions income, which makes the truck increase that much. And now we're looking at steel and aluminum tariffs being put on, which, sometimes it may get worse before it gets better. So the cost of aluminum, if it's going to go up, then this yearly increase of 5 to 8% of trucks is going to get more, which definitely offsets the interest amount that we would be charged for doing it. So we still wouldn't be buying but 1 truck a year, paying for 1 truck a year, but we'd get in line. We'd get in line to get a truck. And I did ask them. They said that on the 3 tankers, they said that one of them could possibly come out before 2025, but that the other 2 would be around February of 26 if we were to, and that's basically these trucks that they're quoting the trucks that they have, they own the chassis. So these trucks are in the pipeline. These are not, it's not something that they're going to buy once we take the 1 truck. So that's why the trucks are numbered and identified and stuff like that.
And we don't have to start paying on them until we get them.
That's correct. Well, take that back. If we do this, we would finance, and it would take no money out of this year's budget. But I would think that we would pay off 1 truck each next fiscal year. So we'd pay for 1 in October.
We start paying
2025.
whenever we got the first one and then just.
We would have, but we could potentially have an open bid before we receive the first truck.
Can we,
Would y'all have-
can we do that? Can we, I mean, I know that we can't pay for anything that we haven't received. I mean, is this different?
If the paperwork is worded correctly, we can. Because we do that with government capital, we can purchase equipment. And I know that paperwork is correct. I was gonna make a suggestion just to see what kind of interest it would be if I talked to government capital to see what they would have as far as interest and all that. I know their paperwork is, we can use their paperwork. That's what they do. They do government, county government. equipment like this. And so I know you bought some piece of equipment, we've used them, and Andy has too.
Since we're
And-
buying it from the,
Right, and they're paying it off. But what the bank does is they pay it off, and then we make payments to the company. And so,
And we can also get a quote from that Republic, which does the same thing as
Yes,
Government
yeah.
Capital, so it's another chance to
Right.
get a lower interest.
right. I just figured, calling and talking to at least a couple different, we can kind of see what would be.
I just don't think that a fire truck's gonna be, I think the longer we wait, the more expensive they're gonna get.
They increase every year. I mean, it's just
5-8%,
automatic.
which
Yeah.
offsets your cost of interest. Right
And
there.
no one knows what the emissions deal is gonna, I mean, nobody can give you an exact number.
Right.
I wanna get in line.
Good.
We just can't get grants. We try to submit grants.
I mean, I think it
It's
saves the
not
county money in the long run, and it doesn't affect us in this budget year. And it allows us to budget
and
and
if
budget
by
even more
chance
that
you
payment.
get the grant from one, well, that'd just be that much better. Yeah.
Right.
And that's another thing I didn't say, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, that's another thing. We still try for grants, but, and so that, just because this gets done doesn't mean we stop trying. It's just, that's not a reliable way at all to try to replace aging apparatus.
Uncle Fairfield waited
10 years. I
Yeah,
think.
well, yeah.
to get this truck. Yeah. Or something, it was cheap. Yeah.
Every territory.
You may be ready for another new truck. Have worn these out before that grant comes, who knows? Oh. All right, so what did?
Did you say that Streetman was more in need of a tanker rather than a pumper rather than a tanker?
So, the terminology, if you look at the terminology, tanker can be used as an engine. So you can have sort of a hybrid engine tanker. It's not something like what Wortham has where they carry several thousand gallons. But you can get an engine tanker that carries 1,500, 1,800 gallons that can still function as an engine. It carries a larger volume of water than a regular engine, but it can still carry out normal structural firefighting activities. We come to Fairfield for structure fires, so it can still be used to lay hose, do Fairfield, supplement them, etc. So it's not like either or. There are apparatus that can sort of meet the needs of both, if that makes sense. There are tankers that are specifically tankers. There are engines that are specifically engines. And ideally, I think that what we would need best is sort of a combination of the two.
So some of this paperwork that you just looked at, does that fit the?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now, I didn't study it, in detail, but it looked to me, just scanning it like, yes, sir, it did.
So where are we now? It's the process first.
Discuss the
Yeah, it's supposed to
process.
say discuss.
It's done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Agenda.
Process.
So we're gonna wait until the next budget year, then we're gonna go ahead now, and then we'll pipe forward to the next budget year?
That'd be the plan. Yeah, so no out of pocket out of this budget. Again, it's just getting that line position and at the same time hoping it's a smart thing to do because we're gonna lock in a price, say now, and regardless of what.
I'm pretty
the
sure we're
truck's
gonna lock
do.
price in, you know how things change.
Yeah, we had that.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
On that.
We locked someone else's police car, and that didn't work.
Yeah.
The deal wasn't a deal.
We ain't got it.
But, you gotta try, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to knock you, I'm just.
Right.
I had to make that statement.
yeah, how it burns me
Yeah.
up.
Remember that.
Burns me up on them, it's done happen twice.
Yeah,
And that's something up fair done
yeah.
too. So y'all wanna go ahead and,
I'll make a
Make a
motion,
decision.
I knew how to word it.
yeah.
All
Well,
right,
hey,
what's the
let's,
measure?
hey, what if we put a monetary value? We've got a hard quote, so and I'll speak on Wortham's behalf. the truck that they need the most would be a new rescue truck. And the total on that truck with the tools is $414,285. So with know that, looking at these 3 tanker trucks, what TIG did was basically delete some stuff and add some stuff, and it pushed the cost of their truck up to about $480,000. The base price on the trucks, without any options, is about $430,000. So would we want to allow Streetman and Do to pick the options that best fits them for the calls that they make and see what that number, let them get with the salesman of this company and go over and see if we can keep it around that $480,000 to make it all about right?
We make sure to get what y'all need.
That's right, yeah, we're gonna get something new, we're gonna be exactly what you want. But if we're all in agreement that we're gonna move forward, I think another thing is getting our name on these trucks. You know, these particular trucks that they own the chassis on. The options are the options. They printed them out, so whatever options they pick, we already know what that cost is going to be. So how do we word the motion?
How do you word the motion? We're all.
To purchase 1, and then to purchase 3, or however you describe those. And then come back with approving the amounts whenever we work that out. But if we go ahead and approve that, so that we could get our name on those vehicles, at least we're in the works.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to purchase 1 let's see what it's called, rescue truck for Wortham Volunteer Fire Department. 3 tankers, 1 for Do, 1 for TIG, 1 for Streetman.
You could word it as tanker pumpers, and that would cover the, like the hybrid thing he's talking about. Because the pumps on them,
Based off of these base prices, taking into consideration the options.
At approximately
480.
That's $480,000
per unit.
In the meantime, I'll call both those banks.
Yes, it's broad enough that we can come back and work with it.
That's my motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. There you go. Motion carried.
thank you.
That's $1.8 million.
Yeah.
Got it. $1.8 million.
Happy days, let's go to item number 24, discuss donating old Butler fire truck to the TIG rescue team.
There is a 1980, what do we say, 6? No, that was another. 1980 something C70 Chevrolet sitting over Butler, been sitting outside for a long time. Apparently that truck was bought with county money when Dan McGregor was in office.
Approximately 1980.
Yeah, it's probably still on our insurance, and it's not being used.
I'll pull the file and look at it.
What y'all's training?
We're gonna use it as a training prop at our rescue, or at our training facility over there in TIG for the extrication class.
I want the motor out of it.
Yeah, whatever, we just need something heavy and bulky, so take whatever you want to.
Thank you.
Did y'all say y'all gonna take the motor out for him? Is that what you said?
No, I didn't say that.
Anyway, I just would like that, the truck's just sitting outside, if they can use it, I'd like to get it to them. It's not doing us any good, and hopefully it's something we can take off the insurance.
It'll benefit everybody, because they all use our training.
And that was the second?
Second.
Second? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Any comments
Tarrant County, the next one on 25.
Hey, well,
Yeah, third page. Excuse me, 25, Tarrant Regional Water District Communication Powers Agreement. And who has that? Who asked for it to be put on?
Yeah, but we were going to have a special meeting to put it on there, and I mean, all we're gonna do is, I'm assuming is just renew that contract, is that correct?
Oh, I don't know, I mean, I've got the contract here, I didn't know anything about it.
That has
but
to be
it is-
renewed.
It does.
It has to be renewed by the end of February, correct?
It runs
But
out.
there's
in
something
February.
else to go along with that, that our equipment is in their old little building up there, and they're requesting that we have Huffman move our equipment out of that old building into the newer building that they've got all their stuff in.
If we're gonna do
At our
that,
expense.
if we're gonna do that, then we need to get a better communication up there so that citizens can get their fire calls, their pages, because they can't get them.
When is that, does that have to be approved? Say
Right,
right
it's out.
immediately, since we need the special.
Probably by the end of the month.
The end of the month.
Uh-huh.
And is it $500 per year?
Right now it
Right
is, but I don't know about the new one. Because I haven't seen anything.
We don't even have a copy of the contract.
Right, but right now we pay it $500 annually.
How long is that contract? How long we get that contract?
This is 10 years. It was 5 years with a 5-year extension.
So this is 10 years?
Leonard had told me the other day that they are requesting that we have to move our equipment into their new building, which is more climate control. I don't know if that'll have anything to do with how stuff gets out or reception.
We don't have the agreement, so we can't.
I mean, I think we need to figure out something, if we're gonna use that tire, or we need to get some benefit out of it for the Southern Oaks Fire Department to get their pages. I mean, those guys at Burke don't even get them half the time, they don't get them. Do y'all get them all the time, John?
Ours are good.
Yours are
The
good.
communication right there is good around town.
What about if you're up Southern Oaks when you couldn't, up at Southern Oaks?
I have not personally.
But I mean, we need to look at helping them up there.
You want to have a special meeting so that we can address that? When will that be?
Well, we had scheduled for the 25th.
We have a meeting on the, don't we have one on March the 1st or 2nd?
We had one scheduled for the 25th, got it moved to today, this particular item.
Well, we just put on the regular agenda on March the 3rd. I mean, there's not gonna be a problem with that, is it?
That's the only thing we were going to hear on that
Yeah,
day.
that's all we're doing.
So that's
So
why
that
we
meeting's
moved it
off.
to today, so we wouldn't
So
have
that
to
meeting's
have.
off.
That meeting's off. Unless we want to do it on that special meeting, so it would be before the end of the month.
I mean, I'd make a motion that we renew the contract at the rate, at the current rate.
Yeah, but we don't know if it's gonna change.
I know, but if it changes, then we should do something else.
Yeah, you can do that, subject to.
I mean, subject to the contract,
So we're gonna move our stuff into that building?
sir.
Or we gonna move our stuff into the new?
We
If
gotta get
they
a
go
quote
up
from
to
Oaks and see what it's
750,
gonna
we're not
cost.
going to tell them we're not.
All I know is
We
if
don't have a
they
choice.
reached out
So
to
let's
Leonard,
just
they
renew, and then we'll talk about the
requested
equipment.
I don't know what's gonna
Maybe this
cost.
would be
It's
the
our
time to see if
expense.
we need better equipment or to change our equipment.
That's correct. So I make that motion if we
Make a
go and
motion
renew.
to renew.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Now, do we have any comments from commissioners, board members?
I went to dig yesterday, long industry. They're trying to get a new entrance.
Yes,
to
they
their
are.
facility over there because they're enlarging that whole thing.
They're having trouble getting their
They're having a
permit.
permit, having a problem with the state on getting a permit because of distance or.
Well, I went and talked to the people here, and they said that you have to do the permit, they've already done the permit. And the issue seems to be that they already have 2 access points, and they don't want to put another one in.
Well, one's closed off. They're not using it.
Anyway, so, do any of y'all have any connections with any of the text documents? Maybe that you could help work this out for them?
I was told yesterday that permit would be issued by this office. Even though you go to Brian, then you go to State office, Huntsville. But the permit would actually be issued out of this office.
But it has to be approved by them.
Yeah, probably so.
So that's what they're waiting on.
I got a call talking about the same deal not long ago with the TIG EDC, you know, they try to get turn lane.
We run into the tract of lands that only access point was right beside existing.
You didn't have enough separation.
And it was on the adjoining land, you know, going to their property. The state would not, and all that did was prevent more people from getting access to the property. We had to go back, luckily, and find an easement from the other people to use that, and the state would not. And there was, I would have thought that would have been against the law, you know, to deny somebody access to the property.
Since it's right off the highway.
Right off the highway, but it was too close to the other entrance, and they would not budge. We weren't the landowner, but we were representing one another. We just went in, we ensured access and our market. They did not want budge. I don't think somebody should have had a better law.
I just thought along Main Street being good friends, taxpayers, employ lots of folks, da-da-da-da. And it's right, if y'all are familiar with it, past the river, over past the T. They're on the left. They want to move it closer, closer down the fence, north of my head. So you visual, turning
It
off
is a
and on.
safety
It's
issue.
already a turn lane
It
there.
is safety issue.
Safety issue, da-da-da, but they're not getting it.
Because they're fixing to do a railroad spur and start shipping their metal in there. They got the robots, I think they work all of them.
Yeah, they are.
The robots.
They're getting into it just now.
It's just automated. What, 4 hours, 6 hours?
Yeah,
But
it's
anyhow,
like,
I told her, I told Ricky I'd bring, she made a copy, and said you already had copies, and I brought my copy back, but when you did, in case you didn't have yours, and I did, I'm bringing it up, that's all I'm doing.
Yeah. Me too. But I don't know what we can do. I didn't talk to them.
Might probably save Red.
Yeah, that's Pete Sessions.
Pete's on South End.
Isn't Pete over there? No, that's.
Do what?
That's good.
Pete on South End again,
Yeah, that's,
and was on the north end.
that's, yeah, he's not a state rep.
He's out of there.
He might have helped, so we'll see. Okay, anything else?
What do we turn?